All right, I think this recording is started. Sweet. All right. So, one thing I have not taught you guys in lab very well is how to use the waveform plotting tool called Viva in Cadence. And so in this video, I want to go over some of the basics of it to help you out. And I think these will be useful on your final project. So here I have a test bench for an op amp. This is just an op amp I designed previously in a class. And right now I've got it set up as a unity gain buffer, and I'm putting in a step response and looking at the transient simulation. Not really important for this video, just giving you some background. So I ran my simulation and I plotted my input and my output voltages, and this is what I get. And you'll see that my screen is white. I've changed this to white just to help you see what I'm doing better. If you're interested, you can talk to me and I can try to help you change yours. Okay. So Viva has windows, sub-windows, and strips. So windows are like this overall big tab. Sub-windows are like if I were to copy this to a sub-window. So sub-windows are like where you have two different little windows here with graphs in it. And then strips, I'm just going to delete this sub window over here real quick. Strips are like the rows of stuff here. So that's kind of some terminology. Now, there's a lot of tools for manipulating your waveforms, like moving them, copying them, creating new strips, creating new sub windows, creating new windows, on and on and on and on. I'm not really going to go into it too much. I'm just going to cover a couple of the basics. So a really useful one here is, let's say these two waveforms that I have, I want to view these separately. I can click this button with these arrows pointing out, and that will split it into two different strips. And then if I want to, and if I have more than two in here, let's say I had three waveforms, it would create three strips, one for each waveform. Now, if I want to collapse these all back into one, I can click this button next to it, with the arrows pointing in, and that combines it. Now, let's say if you have just like one strip that you want to split out, then you can use this button, and I'll combine them again. And if you have just one, let's say I have like three, um, here, I'll make a copy so you can see it better. Uh, okay, so now I have three. Okay, now I have three different waveforms in here. So let's say I just wanted to move like this red one out. Then I could click this button on the end, move selected traces to a new strip, and that would just move it down and leave the other two still there. If I want to move this back up, I can move it up like this. I can also like delete these with the delete key if I want, or right click and hit delete. There's a lot of things you can do. There's more stuff with like, yeah, there's a lot more. I'm just gonna leave it at that for now. Play around with these a little bit, you'll get a better feel for them. Next, if I want to zoom in, so like right now, most of this waveform I'm not that interested in. I'm really interested in what's going on at this peak. So if I want to zoom in on this peak, there's a couple ways I can do it. One is by using the zoom bar. So I can adjust the little endpoints of the zoom bar up here, and I can zoom along the x-axis in. And so now I can see this point a lot better. And if I want to move around, I can then pick up this entire thing and like scan around my waveform. So if I went all the way over here, now I can see the falling edge, or I can scan back to the rising edge. Another way to zoom, which I think is somewhat more useful, is to click and hold with your right mouse button somewhere, and then drag, and then you're going to select the area you want to zoom in on. And then if I let go, it zooms in. And I could do that again. So press the right mouse button, hold it, pan over your area, and then let go. And that zooms in. And now I can see this more clearly. So that's kind of how you zoom. If you want to go back to where you see the entire thing, you can go view and click this fit, or there's also the keyboard shortcut of F, and that will bring you back to seeing the full thing. So I'll zoom in again real quick. Other things you can do. So if you want to change the colors or properties of your traces, you can click on it and hit Q, or right click and hit trace properties. Now I'll bring up this box, and here I can change the name of the trace. So I can just name it like out instead. If I hit apply, you can see it changes, it's named out. I can change it to a different color by clicking on this little box here. And I can select a different color if I want. So let's say I want to make it green. Okay, apply. Now it's green. I can change it from a solid line to a dotted line, or to a dashed line, or different things like that. I can also, if you see this waveform's a little jagged, that's because this transient simulation is actually only simulating certain points, and then it's interpolating between those points. So if I want to see the points that are actually being simulated, I can click this turn on symbols and show all points, and then I can pick a type of thing. So let's say I want to do X, hit apply, then it'll put little X's at all the points that are actually being simulated. And any of the lines between this is just interpolation. I can also change this to, let's say, like a box. And if I want, I can even turn my line off and then see just the points. Or another way to do this is to, instead of doing line type, you can just do points. And that will show just the points. And sometimes that's kind of useful to see what's going on better in your simulation. So I'm going to return this to default. You can also reach a bunch of these settings by right-clicking on the trace. And you can go down, you can change the colors here. You can change the type. You can change the styles like dotted or dashed line. You can turn the symbols on. You can change the symbol type. So there's a lot of different things you can do. There's other tools here about like exporting information, moving it or copying it. A lot of different stuff I won't go into. If you're interested, I can show you more another time. So I think I'll wrap up this video here so it doesn't get too long. And then I will do another video talking about markers, which is probably more useful than this information, but it's all kind of helpful. So, yep. Thank you.